The king of Italian opera composers, Giuseppe Verdi, was a master of conveying character and emotion through melody and orchestration. And in his La Traviata, we can tell from the very first chord what is going to happen in the opera. From the top strings, first and second violins by themselves, 8 of them together. Viola and cello are added. And we get the first of the great melodies. La Traviata was composed in 1853 for a commission for La Fenice in Venice, the theatre in Venice, and it was the third of the 3 great operas from Verdi's middle period. 1851 was Il Trovatore, 1852 Rigoletto, and then we have La Traviata. La Traviata is frequently translated as someone who, the woman who has been led astray, but in actual fact, it really translates as travia, going off the path of honesty. And the opening scene is at a party. At the party, several of Violetta's previous lovers, Violetta is a courtesan, are there, and a young guy, the tenor, the leading man, the romantic lead, is introduced to Violetta, and he immediately falls in love with her. They sing, he offers her a drink, and they sing the famous Brindisi, which everyone sings at parties. The guests go away. He pronounces his love for Violetta with the first of the great love melodies. Violetta responds. She summons up the energy, even though she's sick, to flirt with him. The guests leave, and Violetta sings her very famous scene, which is like 8 or 10 minutes long. A fasi lui and sempre libera. You know, she questions, am I in love? Should I give up this life for a young, penniless guy? Act 1 finishes, Act 2 commences, and we find that Alfredo and Violetta have been living together in a country house. He sings his big aria and cabaletta and leaves. And then the gardener comes in and says, there's someone at the door. It's Alfredo's father. We know something foreboding is going to happen. He tells Violetta that there's a big problem with the family. It is the relationship between Violetta and Alfredo is bringing disrepute on the family, and that Alfredo's sister is going to be married, etc., etc. So he talks, and in the wonderful garden scene, it's one of the great scenes in all of Italian opera. He convinces Violetta to leave Alfredo. Papa Gemmo, Giorgio Germain, leaves, and Violetta writes a letter saying to Alfredo that she is ending the relationship. And Verdi has created the most glorious clarinet solo for writing the letter. And at the end of this wonderful clarinet solo, Alfredo comes back and says, "What are you doing?" "I'm writing a letter." She gives him the letter, which he doesn't read, and she sings the great farewell, "Amami Alfredo," which is the centerpiece of the opera and the great ovation at the end. And she runs off. Then Papa Germont comes back and sees his son and sings, "Come back to Provence, to your home life where you really belong." It's an aria based on a folk tune, which is perfect for the character and the spot in the opera. La Traviata is a 3-act opera. Act 2 is long, has 2 sections in it. So frequently people say Act 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in the second half of Act 2, sometimes called Act 3, is set at a party at Flora, Violetta's friend's house. The big gambling scene. Violetta arrives just after Alfredo has arrived with his new girlfriend. And Violetta arrives with her old boyfriend. There is a great confrontation scene, and Violetta faints, and she wakes up comes out of the faint and sings Verdi's favorite tune that he wrote for this opera, Amami Alfredo. When people asked Verdi for an autograph, he would write that tune with the manuscript, da 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 ba ba, and then his name. He loved it so passionately because it sums up the whole character of this beautiful woman, Violetta. And following that tune is a great ensemble, which closes that act, and then we move on to the final act, where Violetta reads the letter that Papa Gemmo has written to her, saying that all is fine, I'm really sorry. I realize that Alfredo really loves you and you love him. Alfredo comes back, they sing a very short, exciting duet, and she suddenly feels revived. She says, "It's very strange. I feel my energy coming back." She stands up and dies. La Traviata is one of the greatest operas of all time, of all repertoire, not just Italian repertoire. It's absolutely a gift for everyone, us and the audience. Come and see it.